I thought it was amazing. I definitely recommend it. Would do it again. You're going to get a high dose. It's going right to your bloodstream. Hi, thanks for clicking on Simply Tanika. I am Tanika. If you are new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Let's hang out a while. If you are returning, welcome back. What's up, Fertility fam? We gotta do what? Let's get those babies, ladies. Drops fall and the beauty of it all. What's up, Fertility fam? How are you? I hope you are well. When you guys are seeing this, it will be Thursday, and I was gonna put up my consultation or my visit with the nurse on Thursday for my new protocol, but now it's happening on Thursday, so when you guys are watching this, I'm probably meeting with the nurse. And I'm going to do a phone conference so I can record it and you guys can hear it all, and then that should be up on Friday. What we are here to talk about today, as you can tell by the title, I am going to talk about my experience with my IV therapy that I did last week, which was amazing. I specifically got glutathione, and it comes with vitamin C. I got that via intravenously, and then I also got a booster shot of CoQ10. So I'll just talk you through my whole experience. I won't go into all the details of glutathione. If you want to know about that, let me know down below and I'll make a separate video. But in short, glutathione is the master antioxidant in our body, and it impacts all the other antioxidants. And if you want to know like what else it is, like what it does and why antioxidants are important, specifically in fertility and all that fun stuff, let me know, and I'm happy to make a whole video about glutathione. But in this video, we are going to talk about my experience. So I went to Reviv, and why did I pick Reviv? I did a Google search of, I wanted glutathione IV NYC. So that's literally all I put in my Google bar, and a bunch of stuff came up. There were actually, I was surprised. There are a lot of places here in New York that offer IV therapy, and so I was like, okay. So that was easy enough. I had a couple of criteria. It had to be in Manhattan because I'm in Manhattan. I wanted to go either on my break at work or immediately after work. So it needed to be on the Isle of Manhattan. The other thing that I was looking at is that it detailed what ingredients were in each IV pack. Some of the websites that I looked at said things like, it will help you have energy, it will help you have whatever, but it didn't put what the ingredients were. I wanted to know what they were because, as you guys know, I already take a bunch of supplements, and so I wanted to know exactly what was in them. And the reason why I wanted specifically the glutathione in the whatever IV that I got was because I take NAC, N-acetylcysteine, which is a precursor for glutathione, because glutathione is not necessarily best consumed orally. It gets obliterated in the GI tract, which I feel like I've told you guys that a couple times. But if you're new and this is the first time you're meeting me, hello, thanks for hanging out with me. And yes, that is glutathione. Although I've made a discovery about it since then, there is liposomal glutathione, which is wrapped in, I'm just going to say, fat, and it helps it get past the digestive tract so it can be absorbed. The great thing about IV is it passes, obviously, your digestive tract, bypasses your liver, so you don't have to worry about how much of it your liver, because the liver is our great detoxifier, right? So if we take anything orally, it's got to go through our tummy, through our liver, it's got to all be processed, and so whatever dose we have, it's always diminished somewhat by going through the liver when we take an oral supplement. And so, you know, doctors, if they prescribe us a medication, they know that, and so they set the dosage accordingly. They know, like, if they give you 5 milligrams, there's a certain percentage of it that you're never going to see the benefit of because your liver was like, wah, 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 and took it away. So when you do the IV, it bypasses all of that. It's going right into your bloodstream. That was of interest to me, knowing that the glutathione is not as absorbable in the gastrointestinal tract. So I was like, that is what I was in search of. So listing the ingredients was important, it being in Manhattan. The other thing was this particular clinic listed its prices on the website, which was important to me. I am not a phone person, and I just don't have the time to call up a bunch of clinics and ask for the price of each different treatment, because there were two that I was looking at. There was the, I think it was called the Vitaglow or I can't remember. Vitaglow, I think it was. And then there's another one that's called Royal Flush. And Royal Flush had a few more ingredients, but I was looking at that. So if they didn't have the price, that means I'd have to call. You're going to get the hard sell. There was one place I called because there was another treatment I was interested in, and they didn't have the price of it listed. They had the price of all the other treatments, but not that one. So I was like, well, maybe it's just like a website error. I called, and of course I got the hard sell of like, this is what it can do. And I had already done all my research before I called them. There were questions I had, you know, about their specific treatment, but not about the nutrients. I wanted to know like how they process the nutrients and what grade they were and, you know, where they obtain them. More practical stuff. I didn't need their advice on which vitamins to take, if that makes sense. So I didn't need the hard sell. So having the price on the website was definitely a plus for me, having the ingredients, having it be in Manhattan. And then I think the other thing was that I could make the appointment over the internet, which is also, again, I don't have to call anybody. I didn't get a hard sell. So those were all great. They said they had the doctors there. So I made the appointment. Same day I went in for my treatment, which was amazing. I did go in. Front desk person checked me in. You have to fill out, and it makes sense, like a disclaimer. You have to go over your medical history. They just give you an iPad and it kind of goes over, do you have a heart condition? Do you have a liver condition, a kidney condition, like any known conditions that you might have, any things that you are allergic to, etc. You just kind of go through yes, 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 no, no, no on the iPad, and then you sign. Front desk young lady wanted to upsell me a B vitamin shot. I declined, and I said I would like the CoQ10 vitamin shot, which is just an intramuscular shot. I'm doing this for a syringe, so it's not IV, but it's like an add-on. It was only $49. So I said I would like the CoQ10. She was like, oh, great. That's one of the best B vitamins.
It's not.
It's not a B vitamin at all. So again, that's why I don't rely on them for my nutritional information or vitamin information. I don't know that they've necessarily studied it. I worked at a front desk at a CPA firm. Would you let me do your taxes? You shouldn't. So, you know, maybe not like the most informed person about your health needs and what nutritional value is being provided. Just saying. So I got the, actually you don't pay for it yet. So you fill all that out, then a nurse comes to get you. I took my credit card out because I thought, oh, surely they're going to want payment now. They didn't. But while we're here, prices for the Glutathione IV drip was $209 before tax. And then the CoQ10 shot was $49 before tax. And so didn't pay for it then. She takes me into a room. Closes the door. She introduces herself. Very nice nurse. We go over all my vitals. We go over my medical history. She asked me if I have any questions or concerns. If I'm taking any medication that, you know, they wanted to go through my medication list. So I went through it with her. And then she starts punching stuff in and she said, okay, I'm going to call the doctor and you have to talk to the doctor. So blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, great. So I just go back to like my phone thinking she's going to call the doctor and the doctor's going to come in. And then all of a sudden this thing turns around and it's basically like a stick with an iPad on it. And the doctor is introducing herself like, hi, I'm Dr. yada, yada, yada. I don't remember her name. But I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting her, you know, to be on there. So she's looking at me. She went over my vitals. Like they did my blood pressure, my temperature, all that. Everything was great. Reviewed all of that with me. Asked me if I had a history of anything. I told her that I only have the one kidney, but that both, you know, that my one kidney functions like two, and that I was on fertility medication, currently on meds. And so she was like, okay. And she was like, fine. So I got approved, and that was that. And in that room, the nurse, I keep saying the other woman was obviously not there because she's on the iPad. The nurse put spray on. She asked me if I wanted lidocaine, so she sprayed on the lidocaine, and it's fast acting, the spray, and then she inserted the whatever that is that goes intravenously there for the IV, and then she did a flush because obviously there's, you know, a little bit of blood comes through because there's a needle. She did a saline flush to clean that out, and then she put the Tegaderm, the clear plastic thingy, over it to hold it in place. It's a little bit uncomfortable, even though it's numb, because there is a needle there in your vein, so you have to be careful. Like you can't really just bend your arm. And I have a big giant bag because I live in New York and I don't drive a car. Instead, my trunk, you know, trunk equivalent is my bag that has everything in it. So she picked the bag up for me, and she was like, don't forget your bag. And she was like, oh my God, it's heavy. I'm like, girl, you don't know the half of it. Before we left the room with my bag, she gave me my vitamin, now I'm saying vitamin B. She gave me my CoQ10 booster shot, and that is an intramuscular, so I got it in the bum. I asked for lidocaine. She didn't give me the lidocaine. I think she forgot. And then by the time the needle was going in, I was like, that didn't even, I just took a deep breath, it went in, it was fine. It didn't hurt at all. So that was that, although the next day it was, like, I think I'm like 3 days later now. What's today? Tuesday? 4 days later? It doesn't hurt today, but yesterday I could feel it. There was like a knot immediately, well, immediately the day after, if that makes sense. Saturday, there was like a knot, and it was like, oh, something happened back there. So anyway, she takes me out of that room, like the intake room. Then we go across the hall into my treatment room. They have the IV rack there. They have my 2 bags on there. My name is on there. The date is on there. And the solution that's in each bag is on there. So I sit down. She gives me the remote to the TV. She says, if you want, you can turn on the TV. You can watch TV. So I was like, great. Then she connects the first IV, which was vitamin C. And they're not mixed together. So the glutathione, the Vita Glow treatment, which is the anti-aging youthful treatment, has glutathione and vitamin C. The vitamin C helps with absorption. She hooked that up, and then she gave me the remote. She also gave me a little buzzer, which is similar to the buzzer, like if you do acupuncture, when they leave you, like in case you're in distress or you need something, you know, obviously you're not that mobile. Even though the IV is on wheels, like it's just easier to press the button and they'll come into you. So, and she said if it empties before I get back, or if you have any discomfort, just press the button, I'll come back in. And she gave me the remote. They had a Roku on the TV, so I was like, oh, cool, I'll listen to meditation. There's so much like white noise in there, I couldn't actually hear the TV. So I guess if you were going to watch like a show, you could put on closed captioning, but it wasn't good to hear meditation music. Like I listened to meditation on YouTube. I couldn't hear it because there was so much white noise, similar to like when you go to, if you go to therapy. You know how they have the white noise so people can't hear you outside on the other door, or in the other rooms? It's just like, and in the office we have white noise too. It was just all the white noise machines. It was really loud white noise. So I couldn't hear that. So luckily I had my phone, and I just played YouTube meditation on my phone and put my earbuds in, and that was fine. The nurse, a different nurse, came back in to change the first bag, the vitamin C bag. It was like, she poked it and there was still some in there, and then she's like, I'll be back when it's empty. So she came in. The vitamin C bag was fairly quick, I want to say, like maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And then when that was empty, she came back in and hooked up the glutathione. She took away the other bag, which I wish I would have known because I would have taken a picture, but I'll show you the pictures that I did get of both of them over here. Hooked up the glutathione. She said it was going to be a slower drip because it could make me dizzy, or it just was like, it had a more, a greater physiological effect, basically. So like if I'm going to be woozy or sick or whatever, they don't just push it in at the same rate that the vitamin C one. And so I sat there maybe for another like 20-30 minutes with it. At that point I was feeling very relaxed. I put the blanket over me. I had my shoes off and my little sockies on, put the blanket over me and just kind of laid back. I had my meditation on. It was very relaxing. I felt very zen. Time passed. They came to check. There was still more in there. I think I dozed off, and then I like opened my eyes like it must be over soon. It was close to the end, but not quite. So I stayed awake. And then she came in, unhooked me. She first unhooked obviously the IV bag, and then she removed the needle and whatnot, all the apparatus from my arm. She gave me a cotton swab, and then like this, she wrapped this tape, but it's like papery, stretchy tape, like 3-4 times, and she said leave it on at least 30 minutes, ideally an hour. She unhooked me and she just said take your time, which is similar to like acupuncture. They don't rush you out of the room. So, you know, I got to put my shoes back on and kind of fluff my hair back up. Felt fine. Went up to the front, paid. They give you an option if you're going to pay a tip or not. I am sad to say I didn't tip. I was going through this screen so quickly, and the way she handed it to me, she was like, oh, it'll prompt you to do what's next. And so the first screen was like frozen for a while, and then I realized, like, you know how you hear it afterwards? Like, I'm just staring at it. She's like, oh, I have to do something. That's what she said. It'll prompt you. And so I was kind of embarrassed, and I just clicked no so I could get to the next screen. I didn't ask like how frequently I should do it. On some of the websites, some of the clinics, not this one, they sell packages, and they have monthly packages. So presumably you could get it once a week. The recommendation for this one was like, add this to your health regime, your monthly health regime. So it implied that you should do it once a month. But it's not like they took my blood and determined like what my glutathione and my vitamin C are. So do I need to come back in a week? Do I need to come back in a month? Do I need to come back in 6 months? I think you just have to kind of determine that for yourself. I felt amazing afterward. I felt very zen, but also very aware, if that makes sense. Like I was like alert and aware in a way that you can be when you have caffeine, but I didn't have that like buzzy kind of like, I don't know, with me, I'm already team too much. Caffeine makes me like, zoom. This was like a calming energy. Like I felt like I could take on the world, but I also didn't feel in a rush to do so, if that makes sense. Like I was powerful, but not in a rush. So it was great. Since then, I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but I feel like my sight has improved slightly. Like I was having blurry vision before. It could just be mental or side effect. I did have headaches on Saturday and Sunday, but I have been having headaches since I started with the fertility meds from the priming, which I was taking estrogen then, and obviously when I went on Friday, I was on the Gonal F, the Menopur, and Omnitrope, and I still had a headache. So I won't tie that to the treatment, but it also didn't like relieve whatever feelings of headache I had. And I say that because some of them are like hangover treatments. They tout them as like hangover relief. So I didn't have that one, but it does say like you'll be super hydrated. I did feel hydrated. Yeah, just alert and like I could take on the world. Part of the things, glutathione is helping repair DNA, relieve oxidative stress in the body. So it's like if your body is rusting, that's oxidative stress. So it's an antioxidant. It gets rid of that. So those are, you know, some of the things. They call it like youthful, energetic. Now, some people do take glutathione for skin lightening, and so you'll see that on some of the sites. It'll say like glow. I don't know how frequently they do that. It's actually not meant for that. It's like a side effect. I mean, you have to take excessive amounts. That's what I should say. Because if you Google Sammy Sosa, you'll see what I mean. Like he's obviously taking excessive amounts of glutathione. Otherwise, you just get like this natural glow. But I think it's because it's like making you all shiny and new, taking all that rust off, that stress off of you. I did it for my eggs, and now that the cycle is canceled and I'm starting again, that's the one like thing I'm kind of happy about or glad about. I'm bummed, but I want to do at least 2 more glutathione treatments. Definitely one when I am in my luteal phase, because when I start with the estrogen again and the half cetrotide, because that's when we're like waking the official eggs up for that cycle out of their primordial nap. And so I definitely want to have an infusion of it then, and I want to have an infusion of it when maybe like day 3 of my priming. So anyway, that was my experience with the IV infusion of supplements, of nutritional supplements. I thought it was amazing. I definitely recommend it. Would do it again. You're going to get a high dose. It's going right to your bloodstream. It's high quality, as long as you verify it's high quality, where they're sourcing their things from. You know, because the supplements here, especially in the US, they're not regulated by the FDA. So you always want to buy one that has like a third-party tester on it and says like someone else tested this and verified that these amount of ingredients are in this product. Otherwise, they can just slap it on the label. They have it in there, and one bottle could have like 500 milligrams. One bottle could have 100 milligrams. They both have the same labeling of 250 milligrams. And so it's not the same as like prescription medication, which is one of the reasons my doctor gave me the prescription prenatal, because that is absolutely regulated by the FDA, like all prescriptions are. It has to be exactly the same. It has to meet a certain criteria in order to be sold as a prescription. This is not sold as a prescription. I do want to say that. You talk to a doctor, but it is not a prescription. So that is why it's important when you talk to them, you ask them how they're sourcing. And you want to get the exact ingredients of what they're using. What are the exact minerals, vitamins, etc. Because some of them are kind of vague and it just says like magical antioxidants. Like, did you get them out of a unicorn's ass? Like, what makes them magical? So you do your due diligence wherever you go, but I highly recommend it. Look on Yelp. There's lots of reviews there as far as like what people's experience is. That's what I'm telling you, my experience. And then ask questions. If you are a phone person, call them and ask them. The place I went to was super clean, super super bright. You saw the pictures. It looks like an Apple Store-esque of like IV. Do your own research as far as like making sure it's a supplement or a vitamin that will be beneficial to you and your journey and whatever is going on, and that they're using high grade, high quality products that from a reliable source. So that's my experience. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I'll talk to you ladies later. Bye. Baby dust to us all.